Joining us live from Singapore with the latest on the future of that Zaporizhia nuclear plant. Grateful for your insight, thank you. Now, the leader of a doomsday cult in Kenya, in which hundreds of people allegedly died from starvation, has been charged with 191 counts of murder. Paul Mackenzie and 29 others pleaded not guilty before a court in the coastal town of Malindi. More than 400 bodies, including those of children, were exhumed from shallow graves on a piece of land thought to be owned by the controversial preacher. He's also facing charges of committing acts of terror, child cruelty and torture. Our correspondent Ann Soy now reports.
The pain of a father who's lost all his children. His wife, Bahati John, followed the teachings of the controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie on television. That's when their lives changed, says Stephen Mwiti. She withdrew their children from school, he says. These are their school uniforms and bags. The couple fought about it. He'd forcefully take them to school himself. Then, one day, his wife and their 5 children disappeared from home. He showed this picture to the first survivors rescued from the cult, and they gave him the crushing news.
They said the children were denied food and water. After about 5 days, they would die. Then their bodies would be picked up and buried in a mass grave. They told me they knew where my 3 children, Jacob, Lillian, and Angelina, were buried. There were about 10 children in one grave.
2 more, Helen and Samuel, he was told, had been starving for 4 days when the survivors were rescued. This is Shakahola in Kenya's southeast, where Mackenzie's followers were kept. Mass graves, some containing the bodies of up to 20 children, were found here. 429 bodies have been retrieved. Grave diggers told us there are many more, but the recovery was suspended last year. The area is a crime scene. Access is forbidden.
Access is also restricted here at the Malindi morgue, where the bodies that were exhumed are being preserved. Relatives have given their DNA samples, and now the agonizing wait to find out if their missing kin were among the victims continues.
After children, women were also forced to starve. This 29-year-old was pregnant when she went to Shakahola. One day, she and 2 of her friends fled and they got rescued.
It was difficult for us. Imagine 6 men gang raping you. They would pick us in turns. It was a church initially, but preaching stopped, and they started raping and killing people.
If you're to meet Mackenzie today, what would you say to him?
I never want to meet him.
Changawa Mangi, a community leader, helped with the rescue efforts.
Some were frail, looking like they will die within hours. Others were stronger, but they didn't want to be rescued. They were asking the police, "Why are you disturbing us? Yet we want to go to Jesus. Won't you also die one day?"
Beliefs that have only complicated the quest for justice. Mackenzie has told the court he never forced anyone to starve. Some of his followers still believe in his teachings, but to the families that lost their kin, the pain they now have to live with is immeasurable. Ann Soy, BBC News, Shakahola.
Around the world and across the UK, you're watching BBC News.